Streaming cyberspace into your place, sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen from Irwindale Raceway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's Round 7 coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 22. Now this season, there have been 5 swaps at the top of the points ladder. Aiden Young, Jason Menda, Aiden Young again, Mike Holloway, and their current point leader, Jeffrey Harden. Young and Menda have long awakened from any championship dreams, while despite a near last place finish at Nashville, Holloway's speed and potential keeps him dreaming. Matt Hoos has 2 wins, but finishes of 15th, 18th, and 19th last time are too terrible to overcome. We're dropping him from the contention list. Which means only Joe Segala, Donnie Moore, and Ribeye Joe Snyder join Harden and Holloway, dreaming in the land of championship nod. Will more drivers fall on the hunt for the crown? To find out, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in, because the answers you seek come in the form of some simulated short track action, soon to be streaming your way. From the Golden State, hello and welcome on this Saturday night, May 13th, 2023. Papa John Hine joins yours truly, Bill Stoops on high up in the DN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. And of course, always replay right center, they're turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, John, last night in the super late model event, passing was at a premium. Something tells me, and correct me if I'm wrong, if it's not going to be, and it's not going to be any easier here in these less powered hot rods. Am I right?
You are correct. Tonight, setting guys up and being patient to get these passes done. These passes are not going to happen just in one corner. They're going to take several laps to probably work them and get your car in a spot that can take advantage of somebody. So guys are going to have to be on their game, and they're going to have to be patient tonight. Those that can do that and stay out of trouble, they may be holding the trophy at the end of the night.
Indeed, last night the top line was the preferred line. Drivers could get down to the inside using some creative racing lines, pull up side by side, but finishing the pass, that was another story. You know what isn't another story, because it's always the same, is when we talk about Gargamel's Kitchen. They're a high-quality food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit them at 2045 South Valencia Street or call Gargamel's Kitchen at 720-707-6178. And sing the jingle with me. Gargamel's Kitchen is the best. Everyone else is just the rest. All right, with that out of the way, let's go to the business of the points. Newcomers Jeffrey Kemper, Trey Bloom, and Brendan Myers, along with veteran Mark Herzog, all made their season debut at Nashville, upping the number of drivers to have raced at least once this season to a very healthy 29. A second consecutive third place allows Jeffrey Harden to take over the points lead. Joe Segala's 5th last time matches his season best. Coming off a season of personal worst, forces Donnie Moore to now share second with Segala. Ribeye Joe Snyder moves up 2 spots. The point leader heading into Nashville, a 20th place finish there was Mike Holloway, leaving Music City now in 5th. VGN is predicting only the top 5 drivers have legitimate chances at the crown, so you'll be looking at them highlighted in red on the tower. Falling out of contention is Matt Hoos on the heels of his 19th place finish. Hey, Lowell Jewell almost got the Nashville win. The boss man is up 2 spots. Last round's 15th for Michael Goodman. That was his worst showing of the season. Meanwhile, Bruce Pearson, Nashville 9th, matches his best result this season, and he's fast tonight. And finally, the former police chief from Plain City, Ohio. We're talking about Steve Hilbert. Welcome to the top 10. And with that, practice is over, and now the drivers are beginning to grid up. We're glad that you're here with us tonight. Let's take this opportunity to run down our starting order. Now remember, these are based by inverting the top 15 from the Nashville Fairgrounds results. And indeed, it is Michael Goodman who had a 15th place finish. Man, that's a fast guy to have out in front. He already has a win. Looking to go wire to wire today. He's going to be inside of Mark Herzog.
Starting in the second row is going to be the number 7 of Chris Davis, and to his outside will be the double nickel of Steven Spees.
Bruce Pearson and Jason Menda. We'll talk a little bit more about Menda in just a minute. They go 5 and 6.
7th and 8th are going to be Joseph Snyder and Joe Segala.
Jeffrey Harden and Lowell Jewell fill up row 5.
Starting the 11th is going to be one of the guys to watch, I think, tonight. That number 69, that's Aiden Young. His outside will be the 52 of Steve Hilbert.
Kurt Smith and Matt Hoos, my last night's commentator buddy. They're going to go 13th and 14th.
Mike Holloway is going to be starting 15th with Kevin Nunn to his outside starting 16th.
Jeffrey Kemper, Mike Allen, and John Wilson round out the 19-car field quickly as we have just one lap to do it. Our over-under spotlighted driver today is Jason Menda. John, Simon and Poindexter are putting it at 5.5. What say you?
I'm going with the under. He's starting 4th there because I think Steven Spees had an EOL. He's in a good starting spot. We'll see if he can capitalize here.
With Spees being moved to the back, the whole outside line moves up one end. Boy, I tell you, John really takes that over-under seriously as he picks up the move up from the outside line. Okay, the pace car pulls in. Round number 7. We have 6 in the books, 4 left after this one. Michael Goodman in charge of the field. Chug-a-lug makes you want to holler, Heidi-ho. A big jump from Goodman. The battle is now for second. Herzog able to power around on the outside. There is the 7 of Chris Davis trying to find a hole. If there's a little bit of a hole, he'll slide up into it, and he does indeed. Right behind him, getting very close, is our over-under spotlighted driver, Menda, running in 4th, rounding out your top 5. Man, he's been quick lately. The double duck of Bruce Pearson.
Yeah, these guys are stringing out really quick. This track, even though it's not shaped anything like, or it's nowhere near as big, but runs a lot like Lucas Oil. These guys are going to be right up against the wall, almost as a dirt guy. I'd like to say up there riding the cushion, but these guys are going to be up there, and that's what's going to make this really hard to pass because those guys up on the top are going to be able to keep their momentum up, and that's what you're seeing early on here.
We look out of the windscreen of Joe Segala, who's currently racing in 7th. What is interesting is not what's happening in the windscreen, but in his rearview mirror. Man, he was being actually pushed down the front and back straightaways by the boss man, Lowell Jewell, in the 20.
That must mean Lowell's feeling pretty good about his car and what's going on here if he's up on the wheel this early for it. And Soup, we talked about the toughness of pass, but the one difference between last night and tonight's cars, I think these guys, even though they have less power, I think these cars eat tires more than those super late models do. So once these tires get some wear into it, I'm going to be real interested to see what happens to the field and what happens as far as passing goes.
Whoa, that was Davis who got very loose there. Came right up in front and got a little bit of a tap, but he continues going straight. He was racing in 2nd at the time. He still holds that position. Came right up in front. I believe it was the 45 of Menda. Oh, sorry, of Herzog.
Everybody's almost single file except for Joseph Snyder. He's trying to work that middle lane to see if he can get around Hilbert here.
Let's jump you back to the 39 of Snyder, trying to do that what John just saw. John, last night we actually saw guys like Shepard and Young put the car down on the apron, all 4 underneath, and try to straighten out the corner as much as they can. Folks, what's interesting is usually when you see a driver get to the inside, it's like, well, he's going to finish the pass. That's not the case right now. It's really, they get down in there, really hard to finish it. Hey, look at the number 75. Welcome to the series, making his debut. John Wilson, very impressive last night in the, oh my goodness, a little bit of contact going on as Wilson got into it with the car on the outside. That was the 52 of Steve Hilbert. They keep going straight.
Yeah, these guys are starting to slide around already.
A lot of the issues that I think we'll see just based on what I saw in the last night's racing, I'm sorry to keep harping back on an event that has over now, but there was a lot of arguments at corner exit about real estate. Some of the cars on the outside would drift down and wouldn't leave the cars on the inside enough room.
That's a dangerous game to play, too. I mean, it's a true tactic, you know, because if you pinch that guy down, he has to lift, because if he doesn't, he's going to slide up into you. Well, some guys will lift, some guys may not, and you better know who you're racing if you're going to play games like that, and know what lap it is, too, because towards the end, I'm not sure there's too many guys in here that would lift in a situation like that.
You know, the best action right now, we're going to go back and look at Steve Hilbert in a battle trying to hold off newcomer John Wilson. Wilson trying to take, boy, it's hardly could call it the inside line. It's like the middle line. And now Hilbert gets in the wall. They make contact. Straighten it out. Oh, my goodness, Wilson. He's a lumberjack sawing on the wheel, but he gets it, keep going straight. That's an opportunity now for Steven Spies to come in. And John Spies has been doing a lot of time. He's got himself a fast jet because he's been in Germany a lot, right?
Yeah, Steven and I both have been running the 24 hours of the Nürburgring here on iRacing, and he's got a stint yet after this race, so he's got to hop on that jet of his and fly back. If he's got a motor like he does in that jet, we're going to be crowning him a victor tonight, that's for sure. But we're doing pretty well. Currently, I know right before we went on air, I think the team was sitting in 12th out of 48. Had a couple of incidents, but then again, I think most teams in there have. If anybody knows the Nürburgring or familiar with it, it's about a 9 mile, or no, I think it's even further than that, but it's about a 9-minute lap, 8.5-minute lap circuit. And I don't know if it's 14 miles, but it's a really long, twisty, windy circuit with a whole lot of opportunities to get yourself in trouble.
When you talk about being long and getting yourself in trouble, it's been a long time right now for Joseph Snyder. We've been watching him trying to get that pass made. Now we look at Lowell Jewell a little bit. Oh, let's go back to
keep in mind those guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind those guys on the bottom, when they're down there, they're using tire up big time because there's not hardly any banking down there. That means they're really leaning on that right front tire. So the guys that you see doing that, try to remember who they are, because later in the race, they might be paying a heavy price.
Only here on the Virtual Grip Network will we focus for many laps on a battle for 14th. But that's how we play here. If you're in an exciting battle, we'll try to get it on screen. That sorts out the inside line attack. Did not work for Snyder, and he had to surrender Casper now as he sits back in 14th position.
I'm telling you, the boss man is all over. Another good battle. The boss man's all over the back of Jeff Harden here, and I'm sure Brandy would like to see Jeff get a little bit of TV time here, but Lowell is all over the back bumper, and the same thing with Herzog and Jason Menda here. But look at Lowell. He's taking that J.R. Shepard line.
He is really being creative right now. The 36 of Harden and the 20 of Lowell Jewell. Both of those guys in new numbers, as I believe Lowell Jewell used to always be in the 52 that he used to race? I got used to that. And of course, Harden.
Yeah, and I think some knucklehead said that his age was the new 20, and next thing you know, he's in the car 20. So I think he's trying to throw some shade at that knucklehead that said that.
And Harden was always in the double sailboats there, the 44. Now they're side by side. This is all great. We've seen this before, but oh my goodness. Oh, Lowell Jewell dives it in deeper than Confucius in a submarine there. Really took it in. And I was worried he was going to slide up into Harden. Harden gave him enough room. Harden a little bit loose now on the top side. They come out of 4. The momentum goes to Harden up top. He'll lead at the line. And you know, John, once you commit like this, and Lowell Jewell has done, you really feel like you've already invested the rubber trying to make the pass. He wants to finish it.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, it doesn't always work out that way, but yeah, it is in the back of your mind. You've committed to here. And the guy on the outside, Jeff's not doing anything wrong. He's not making life easy for Lowell. And Lowell's going to complete the pass here.
Got him.
But, you know, that when you're on the bottom like that and you feel like you're a little faster than that guy, you just want him to lift and let you in. And Sometimes it not only are you eating that rubber up, but you can grow a little frustrated because of how patient you have to be. I touched on it at the top of the show. Completing a pass isn't going to happen in one corner. It's likely to take 2, 3, 4, 5 laps to get these things done. And Aiden Young is now to the inside of Segala, right behind these guys.
Well, Young and Shepard last night won the most creative driver line awards as they shared that when they were taking some interesting lines. Watch Young do it again. What has happened here with the battle that went on up front of this train between Jewel and Harden? It slowed everybody down, and now we have a long line behind them. Most of the drivers are on the outside, but look at Young trying to make, what am I going to call that, John? The middle line, the lower line, certainly not as low as it could be. Trying to make that work.
I think the middle line is the best terminology because that low line is down there on that solid white line around the inside of the track. But that middle lane, I mean, they're using it. You've got some banking there to lean on in that middle, but if you're on the bottom, it's flat, and so you're going to go a little faster in the middle lane just because of that slight banking that you're going to get.
Going to take you away from this one, back you up to one that's even a little closer. This is Holloway. Now remember, Mike Holloway already has 2 wins, but such horrible finishes elsewhere. He's really, and he gets into contact. My spidey senses were tingling, and he got into with Kevin Nunn. Kevin Nunn in the 64 is our big mover, up 4 spots. None of these by attrition. All the passes are being made on the track, and we have been green for all 33 laps. Could we go green all the way? Perhaps. Wire to wire for Michael Goodman? Perhaps.
And if they do, this is a track where these guys, their tongues are going to be hanging out by the end of this thing. You are really busy, and you have to have a high level of concentration to get around here.
Remember, we lied on board with Joe Segala. A consistent mid-packer, but we really have to pay attention to him. If you look on the tower, you can see the drivers that are highlighted, that are still in the points. We consider that there's 5 of them. Segala, one of the 5. Let's look at Kurt Smith in the 6th.
Oh, into the wall. Matt Hoos. Oh, and I don't think that's going to bring out a caution, Soup. He went all the way to that inside wall on the bottom, and he's going to pull out. He's pulling out right in front of the leaders, too.
What it was Smith was in a battle, a vicious battle going on with Joseph Snyder, with Joe Segala, and they had to check up, and then the 84 of Nunn had to check up, and then Hoos got into him. Also on the outside was Holloway, who was making great time. Holloway was stuck up top. He lost
we got a
momentum, and now we do have a caution. Oh, it's a battle for position on corner exit between Menda and Herzog. Herzog in the 57 down low. Menda, I didn't give him any extra room. But he did give him room.
But that's one where I think Herzog picked up that throttle just a little bit and it shoved the nose up the track, and that really doomed both those drivers when that happened. That's really easy to do on that bottom. If you pick that throttle up too early, that nose of the car just points to that outside wall.
Well, the curse of the spotlighted driver lands on Jason Menda. Over under at 5.5. Still plenty of time. They do have fast repairs in the Bootleg Racing League. Let's go ahead and dial up Jason Menda while we have this opportunity. He's bringing it down into pit lane right now. Jason, it's Soup. Little argument over real estate there, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if I came down or he came up. Where we met in the middle. I don't know. It's racing.
Fast,
back to Pat.
fast repair time?
Yeah, I got a goose egg.
All right, we got 60 laps to get it done. We'll check into you. Pay attention to the pit crew. Good luck.
Thanks, Soup.
Sorry, John, I dominated that one, but I didn't want to bother him as he's coming into pit lane in case he had some decisions to be made.
Well, we don't want to be talking to somebody and cause them to hit their pit crew.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
What that does do is gives us an opportunity to put the camera on the man who has led all 39 laps. It'll be 40 as he comes across the line right now. We're talking about the New York driver, Michael Goodman. Goodman with a win. Then he took a the Italian vacation, so we were really not in the championship hunt. Having a nice run.
You know, we talked to him pre-race and then, you know, off the air before we went on air, but don't sleep on that 22. He was towards the top of the speed chart. He's now running third, and you know, California here is known for earthquakes, but this would be a BRL earthquake if that 22 is able to park it, and I think he's got a shot here.
We did, California. We had a little rumbler out here a few days ago, just a minor one.
Oh, right. He's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, though. He's going to be on the inside there with Lowell there on the outside for this restart.
The stage for you, Michael Goodman, inside of row 1. He's flanked by Davis in the 7. Pearson in the 22, right behind. We go green. And the front 4 slot into position, as do 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, Pearson in the 22 did not get to the top side now. Either he was thinking maybe he could make the pass on the 7 and wasn't worried about Lowell Jewell in the 20. Well, you're up there. I was going to say you're up there. You're down there now, Bruce Pearson. Really quick, though, in practice.
Yeah, he was, and he was towards the top of the chart. I think he ended up second quick to Jason Menda in practice, so plenty of pace in that 22. I just think that's going to be difficult, though, being on the bottom. Lowell, too, has also had quite a bit of pace, and this battle is kind of letting Goodman get away here.
Look at the smarts of the 69 right behind this. Aiden Young has been running the low side for most of the race, trying to pick up positions. He was able to see that Pearson was stuck on the bottom, so he just stayed to the top and said, I will follow those guys through, guys like Davis and Lowell Jewell, and now he's to the preferred top line, and he'll be able to get the pass done, well, the easier way, we assume, is the rolls the 69 around the top.
Yeah, and right now Davis is the cork in the bottle here. He's kind of stacking these guys all up. I think that before a lap or two here, it's going to bring the 36 in play, the 6, the 64, you know, Harden and Smith and Nunn here.
All right, John, I want to talk a little bit about something I'm trying to learn about. These are fixed setups, so everyone basically racing the same thing. But what I've learned from talking to the drivers is the brakes, the brake bias can be changed back and forth. Is that correct? Is that something?
Yes, the brake bias can be changed. Your steering ratio can be changed. When I say that, it means you can speed your steering ratio up. You can slow it down to kind of fit your driving style. The brakes, the big thing to change is if you're a guy that likes to attack the corner, you know, you might want a different brake setting than that guy that's going to float the car in. So you can customize a couple things to try to fit how you want to drive.
As a road racer, I'm so used to getting the weight on the front tire so that there's some bite. Is that kind of what you were saying there, that you'll get a little more bite if you have more front bias on your tires, get the front ones to lock up, or not lock up, really?
Yeah, you'll get more bite on the front, but you got to be careful because then that back wants to swap around. You've got to, in these asphalt cars, much like the road cars, is, you know, there's that happy medium where too much front brake, you're going to be loose whenever you step on the brake. So depending on where you're braking in the corners is really where you want to do. If you're wanting to just drive it in deep, stop, turn, you're going to want probably a little more front brake in because it's a shorter distance to slow down. If you're someone that likes to float it in and kind of trail brake, you might just leave it alone, or maybe even add a little bit rear brake to it so you can just kind of float the car in.
Is that a tool you can adjust during the race, or do you have to decide? You can.
Yes, if you've got it mapped to either a button on your wheel, on your keyboard, something you can get to, and you know, fairly easy. You can adjust it on the fly.
All right, let's go ahead and look at our spotlighted driver, Jason Menda, because he's trying some creative lacing lines right now, and now he's stuck on the inside, but he actually had all 4 tires underneath the apron a few laps ago. He's making some hay back there. Menda got into trouble with Herzog. He brought out the only yellow so far. Menda came in for the fast repair. For those new to Bootleg Racing League rules, you get a free car, but you don't get fresh tires. So he's still out there on 56 lap old rubber. So our spotlighted driver, he's got a tall task ahead of him to get to 5th position. We'll get to the under, which was what my partner's prediction was.
I'm telling you, he's kind of coming up through the field. So, 40 laps. I'd never say never, especially if that group, because this is another group that's catching that bottleneck up there.
Never have we had a leader that has had such few laps of screen time. Michael Goodman is really, due to the luck of the draw, he got put onto the front, and he is clearly, I believe, the fastest car out here tonight.
Oh, we got one in the wall. Jeff Kemper got turned by Joe Segala. No caution.
We'll see if we can get a replay of this one. Segala's going to lose some position.
Oh, and now 39.
Oh, and it's a big one. You know what it was?
Segala again.
Yeah, it was Segala who was trying to recover the 59 of Joseph, of the 59 of, who's in the 59? Let me see who that is. Oh, that's Mike Allen. Got into the back of Segala and turned Segala down into Ribeye Joe, and Snyder did a 720, which included getting part of the wall. That all stemmed from the earlier incident that did not bring out the yellow. Segala lost all of his momentum and his rhythm.
It looked like Segala checked up a little bit to not run in the back of the 55, and when he did, it just caused a chain reaction, because I think he actually had it going. I think what he was trying to do is give up spots, because I think he was, in a way, trying to take responsibility for what happened with the 181, and I know Joe, and Joe, that probably rattled Joe, because Joe's a guy that does not want to turn somebody and will feel really bad when he does.
Tip of the hat to Mark Herzog in the 57. Yeah, he's in last place, but he took some great evasive action to avoid the chaos that was happening in front of him. Quick look at pit lane. We see that Matt Hoos has come in for a little repair.
Hey, can we bring up Steven Spies here, or just
Sure.
give him a chat? Because just ask him how he's holding up and why is he doing this when he's got another 2 hours of Nürburgring coming up.
You got him, John.
Steven, this is John. You got a copy?
I do have a copy.
What on earth are you doing here? I knew you had to give me a ride from Germany back here, but I didn't think you'd get in the car, but here you are. How's the car feeling so far for you?
It feels fine. I'm just kind of riding around, killing time. I wanted to get in and serve my EOL, honestly, so I'm not pushing it too hard. Like you said, I've got a couple hour stint coming up at the Nürburgring right after this, so just out turning laps.
Well, this is a little bit of a shorter circuit than the ring here. You got anything to continue to work your way up?
Well, let's see. It looks like I'm starting on the inside here, so that doesn't bode well, but I've kind of been saving a little bit, so we'll see what we can push through.
All right, buddy. Well, the lights are out on the pace car. I guess you better pull those belts tight and go to work.
Sounds good.
All right, Steven Spies in the 55, and Soup, he's got his work cut out for him being on that bottom. We've seen the top be a little bit more dominant than the bottom here through these middle stages.
Working through 3 and 4. We're going to go green. Michael Goodman is red the whole way, and he does it again. He's working lap number 65. They fan out behind him. Boy, Spies was really pulling the curtain back on some strategy there. He had an end-of-line penalty to serve. He thought he might as well get in the miles here so he doesn't have to serve it next time when he's in a better state. Look at the battle for second.
Well, and I'll tell you, the funny thing about that is he initially told me he was going to take his EOL just to start and park kind of thing, and the racer in him, I think, has got the better of him.
Oh, that was Young that almost got into the 7 right now. This is a tale of two cities. You have Aiden Young, who is, well, John likes to call him butter because he's so smooth. I call him Butter because he's been on a roll. But right now, he's on the inside of Lowell Jewell, but he almost got into with Davis. And you want to talk about two drivers with two different racing styles. Young, who was very smooth, very conservative, and Davis, who is, how can I put this, extremely confident about the length of his car.
Yeah, Davis has one speed, and that's not a bad thing or a knock on him. He just, you know what, he's got to run every lap hard and run you hard. That's what you get with Chris. And like I said, nothing wrong with that. But we got to wonder, you know, at the end of this, whose tires are going to be better. That's always going to be the question here. But Aiden's, and Pearson, what a perfect slide on the pit road.
Pearson, I think it was, no, it was not Holloway. It was Kurt Smith that he got into right on the exit of 2. And my goodness, you couldn't do that again if you took 20 tries.
Made me think of the old Blues Brothers where they used to slide the car into the parking spots.
The bad news for the double duck is that it does not bring out the yellow, although now
here
we do. Oh, it's a chain reaction, and this is going to be so painful. Oh, they got to do something about, Holloway. Oh.
He's going to have to take a tow, but man, that was big.
Oh. This cannot actually be
a
configuration of this track in real life. My God.
Yeah, that would have been a widowmaker. That, man, I'm telling you, I know it's a virtual world, but that hurt to watch. What a violent wreck.
He had to check up and then was turned into that.
And you know, I'm going to tell you something. Some of these guys' wheels are what we call direct drive wheels, which means they're very heavy and almost very realistic. So when you hit something, it'll jerk the wheel out of your hand like a real car. If he had both his hands, a really hard grip, or his thumb in the spokes or something, I've known guys to break their hands. I've known guys that have sprained fingers and dislocated thumbs and stuff like that from iRacing. That, if he had his hands on there and has one of those wheels, he might be shaking his hands right now.
You need to pull a Danica Patrick there and tuck the hands up underneath your chin. Let the wheel do what it wants to.
Well, that's what most people do. I've gotten to where I do that now in iRace, and I just pull my hands back to my chest, and that's what you're told to do. I mean, and like I said, these wheels now, you know, some of the equipment that some of these guys run, it's so realistic what you can do with them. I've driven race cars in real life, and I'm telling you, the same tensions and everything else that I felt, I can feel in my wheel, and if you hit something just right. Speeds actually dislocated my ring finger the other night in a midget race, so it can happen.
A lot of you know the name Sean Ambrose, a friend of mine and a commentator here on BGN. Put his dad, who was a real-world race driver many decades ago, put him in his rig that had a butt kicker device on it, and his dad put it in the wall and broke his rib. Broke his dad's rib. All right, it has been all Michael Goodman. Our contract calls for us to put the camera on the leader every so often, so let's stay on Goodman as he leads the field around for lap 76. This is truly called stinking up the show. He's been out in front. He has not been challenged. And Michael, I'm going to stay with you till you come out of corner number 4. Then we're leaving you, pal. I'm sorry, it's just not exciting up there. Let's go back to right behind him because this is where the action is.
Yeah, and notice that 45. He's in that mix.
He makes contact with the car on the outside. That's Aiden Young. Young puts it in the wall as he had to check up a little bit. Losing positions left and right. Hand over fist as the 69. Oh, my goodness.
But the 45 was at the back of the pack not too long ago. And guess what? He's made the under.
There's a lot to look at. Let's focus on Joe Segala because my spidey senses are tingling right now. Remember, look at his name on the tower. It's highlighted. He is in the championship hunt. But right now, he is doing his very best to keep that car in the position it is right now. He dives it down deep. He brings it up high. The car on the outside, well, that's my commentator partner from last night, Matt Hoos. Hoos has 2 wins already, but also some horrible finishes that is killing him in the points. The 2 drivers right in front of Hoos that are going on, well, they're side by side. On the low side, it's veteran Kurt Smith in the 6th. He drifts up, but leaves room for Kevin Nunn. What about Kevin Nunn? Up 10 spots.
Boy, this is a hornet's nest back here. These guys are all right on the edge and trying to push. I mean, Soup, this rate, we're 20 laps from the end. I mean, that pay window is opening. These guys are you know, this is where some of that give goes away and things become more take out there.
There is no challenger for Goodman. The battle is behind him, and there are lots of battles. What's our director on? He's on the battle for what would be 3rd position right now, going on right behind Davis. On the low side, the 45, our spotlighted driver. Well, John Hines said he'll get up there. He was way back. Now trying to make a little bit of a hucklebuck, a dipsy-do, an up and under. The T-Berry shuffle, the attempt from Lowell Jewell. It does not work, and Lowell Jewell loses momentum. That's going to drop her right back into the clutches of Harden in the 36. Harden is our point leader. Oh my goodness, you don't want to make contact with Nunn, and there was none of it as Nunn left plenty of room. In fact, he dives now to the inside.
Oh, what a slide job by Menda. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we caught that or not, but coming out of 4 right there, Jason Menda just threw a slide job on Chris Davis.
And Davis tries to counter with another slide job, and he gets turned by Lowell Jewell. It's in front of the entire field. They make their way through. A little contact for Snyder. Who's involved in it as well?
Man, another vicious hit. I can't believe that 7 car is still rolling.
Might be fun if we get one last shot before we leave this one to look at it from the car number 8 of Jeffrey Kemper. As he was able to avoid it, but it all happened in front of him. You be the driver at home, folks. Go high, go low. There it happens. I'm thinking right down the middle would be my choice. Jeffrey agrees with me, and that opens up, and then he's got to hit the brakes here because there's a car coming down in front of him, and he clears it. And there you see the contact behind.
And that was the mess, but...
Oh, he got through it.
I don't know if we can get a shot of that slide job that Menda put on. I mean, only thing I can say is wow.
Well, Menda looking to get the win.
Yeah, he's going to be to the outside too, and the only guy that I think's got the pace to do something with Goodman is that 45. That move that he put, man.
All right, screen time, love for number 64, Kevin Nunn. Kevin doesn't like to be interviewed. He likes to focus in on what he's doing, so we're not going to interrupt him. But he is up 13 spots, and kind of symbolized by his last name would be the way that he races a lot. He'll get those finishes where when John and I will read off the standings at the end of the race, he'll have a top 10 and you won't really notice how he did it. And that's another one. He's sitting in a podium position, which might be a little uncomfortable for him because that means we're going to talk to him. But of course, that podium's a long way away. It's going to be 10 laps away, and Jeffrey
Guys
Harden
are going to go for it here.
Jeffrey Harden has other ideas about Nunn taking a podium. Mark Herzog also in the mix now, back in 5th.
As the pace lights go out here, that 45, like I said, I think that car has shown the pace to maybe keep up there with that 28, but the 28's going to have the advantage that he gets to choose when they fire. So he's going to dictate that. That's going to give him a little advantage. Hopefully it's a big enough one where he can clear him by the time they get to 1.
You look at the tower, you see our spotlighted drivers that are still in the hut, most of them up near the top of the tower. All right, we got ourselves a 10-lap sprint. Goodman gets a good jump. Let's watch the battle. Nunn is stuck on the inside. He wants none of that. Harden on the top side, rolling around trying to get that podium spot. Harden wants every point he can get. Remember, he is our points leader. He might want to be thinking big picture right now.
Menda's looking to the inside for the lead.
Indeed. Menda ducks in, and we'll put our attention up there.
See if he does that slide job again. Oh, and look at that. Goodman goes down to block it.
This is really the first racing that Michael Goodman has had to do all night. He's had us all his own way. The battle for the lead settles down a little bit. Let's turn our attention back to third. On the top side is Harden. Nunn on the inside. Nunn gets a good run. We got a yellow. And it looks like it was Lowell Jewell involved in this one. Oh my, from what I can tell, if I'm looking at the right incident, Jeffrey Kemper kind of drifted up into the outside of Lowell Jewell. You know what? Kemper had some help. I think maybe from Mike Allen. Allen in the white car maybe got into the back of Kemper, got him a little bit squirrely. Kemper then got into the boss man. The man who pays the bills got the worst of that one. Whoa, I love this shot, our director. Here's the overhead shot.
Yeah, I think Kemper just got into him. I think he overdrove the corner.
Oh my, I apologize.
Yeah, he
Mike
looked
Allen.
like Kemper.
Mike Allen had nothing to do with that one. Sorry, friends and family of Mike Allen. Sit back down, guys.
Yeah, Kemper just overdrove the entry there, and that car just shot straight up.
God, I could hear them yelling at the commentator through the screen thousands of miles away. It's coming at me in stereo.
So
Mike
what is this
Allen
going to
was
give
there.
us? This is going to give us like what, a green-white checker, maybe 2 laps? Oh, man.
Just to keep telling the story of the final podium spot, Harden, our point leader, was able to get the best of Nunn. The only problem with that, last time Harden got get to start on the outside. Well, now the tables are turned. Look at the 45 of Menda. Looks like John's going to get this one right as he picked the under for Menda.
This thing ain't over yet. You know, we're in California right now, and there's a little pond, and across it is Japan, not too far. Well, okay, maybe a little farther out. But the word bonsai mean anything? We may see a couple of bonsai moves here. See what happens here.
I'll be honest with you, I had no idea where you were going with the Japan reference. I go, where the heck is he going with that? I'm with you, viewers. Oh, John Hyden, great. Love you. All right, so let's look at the lap number now. It's 97. Let's watch the lights on the pace car. The lights
there it went out.
Go off, and they are working lap number 98, which means they will get the green flag on 99, and then the white flag on 100. 2 laps. 8 corners. One mile. I'll continue to do the math. Watch the 36 of Harden. He's got to be thinking big picture. All right, here we go. Great jump from, as expected, from Goodman. He has led every lap so far, looking to go wire to wire, but he's going to have to earn it. And look at this. Harden actually has visions of maybe getting inside of Menda, but that doesn't work. There is a battle for fourth, but we won't deal with that too much right now as the white flag comes out for Goodman. In the wall is Menda. He loses momentum right in front of Harden. Harden takes evasive action to the inside. That's going to seal it for Goodman. But there's not enough room. They bump. The Pizza Hut machine is involved in it, but the 64 keeps going. Now dive into the inside in a bonsai move. That is the 57, but he's losing momentum, and the cars on the outside beat him there. It's going to be Menda and Harden second and third. Tip of the hat to the kamikaze move of the 57. My good Mark Herzog, you made it exciting. But the win round number 7. He led the first lap, he led the last laps, and all 98 laps in between. Wire to wire, Michael Goodman. Woo!
I told you a bonsai move was coming. Wow, what a good finish.
That was fun. What we're going to do is catch our breath by taking a short break. Don't go far, because it'll be a very short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to the top 3 finishers, and then put a lock on the gate. We're BGN, we're the Virtual Grip Network.
Chuckles. I'm in danger. 250 can possibly go to the outside. He does go to the outside. Ricky Harden tries a slide draft him. Harden goes up the track. Now back down to the bottom. Gets a huge push from Tommy Ryan at the start finish. It's going to be Thomas George.
Running the high line, trying to make that
got
pass.
loose off turn 4.
In the grass goes the 6 car, and they were side by side, 2 by 2 here.
Scott Eckley winning the last race of the season and the championship.
Jeff Ford definitely getting the championship for season 2.
Give it up for Thomas George, winning the race in the championship. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick.
Welcome back to Irwindale Raceway and VGN's Round 7 coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Series. Oh, my goodness, my Goodman is what I meant to say there. For a race that was wire to wire, it was not short of excitement. Michael Goodman indeed gets the win, leading all 100 laps, but really had to work on it at the very end as Jason Menda was throwing everything at him, including putting the car into the outside wall, as Menda gets second. But that second place was not a certainty, as Menda put it in the wall. Harden and Mark Herzog both got ahead of him on the last lap, but momentum on the outside worked for Menda. He secures second. Our points leader gets third and opens up a little bit more of a gap on those guys who are chasing him. Mark Herzog will finish fourth. Kevin Nunn, we talked about his quiet finish, another one, top 5 for him. Back half of your top 10, Kurt Smith, Joe Snyder, Steven Spies, Mike Allen, and newcomer Jeffrey Kemper. John?
Finishing 11th tonight is going to be Aiden Young. Stephen Hilbert will finish 12th. 13th, Matt Hoos. 14th, another newcomer, John Wilson, in his debut. Lowell Jewell is going to round out your top 15. Finishing 16th will be Chris Davis, then Joe Sagala, Bruce Pearson, and then Mike Holloway.
And we can point out that Mendo did beat the over-under and hit the under, and that made John a winner. With that said, we get the opportunity to talk to Michael Goodman. We'll bring in our race winner. Michael, it's Soup here. Congratulations. You picked up another win. Hey, when you watch the rebroadcast, you're going to think that, boy, you get more screen time when you're battling for 13th and 14th than you did tonight. You really had it your own way for most of the race until the very end.
No, it was just one of those nights. You really can't ask for, like I said, it was just one of those nights. I did practice a lot for this race, so I had a game plan going in. And what can I say? And when the last caution came out, I had Jason behind me, or he was in second next to me. I was just like starting to doubt myself a little bit because I know he's one fast son of a gun and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, here it comes. I'm going to lead all these laps, and right at the end, I'm going to choke it. And almost did a couple of times coming off the turns. I pushed a little bit, and I looked, and fortunately, he was still behind me. But that was a really tough moment.
Well, it's funny. Racing is a fickle sport. You have a win earlier where I don't think you led a single lap until maybe coming out of quarter number 4 where you stole one, and then you get one totally different this time.
No, you take him as it comes, and as you know, this is it's a tough sport as far as you could be looking like a hero, and then in a blink of an eye, zero. It could be tough.
Well, congratulations. Always good to talk to you. Pick up another win. We'll see you down the road.
I appreciate it. Just want to give again thanks to you guys, Gargamel's Kitchen, Lowell for running a great league and whatnot. Thanks.
You got it. See you down the way. Michael Goodman, our race winner. John, I think you're going to get an opportunity to talk to our spotlighted driver.
Yeah, I am, and I'm really glad I get to talk to him because he made me a winner tonight. Jason, we picked you. You were the over-under driver, and I think your number was 5.5. I said you're going to do better, and you made me nervous. But man, you picked your way back through there. How did you do it?
After the first couple laps of the race, I just started saving my tires and ended up getting in an accident. And I used them all up on the way back. I had 40-something% up front. It's horrible.
You never know it, man. You made a couple runs there at Goodman towards the end of that race there. It wasn't that far off for you, but you made it exciting. When you got involved in that incident and you were in the back, what was your mindset at that point? Did you know, okay, I got a fast car, need to be patient, or was it like what you told us last week, I'm just going to go like hell and see where we end up?
Go like hell and see where you end up. I thought I'd saved enough tires to get back up there. I didn't know if I'd get to second or not, but it worked out.
Jason, it's Soup here. You had to figure that you'd blown the podium spot when you put it in the wall at the end. They were all around you, man.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was over. I was just shooting up to see where I could get, and just worked out.
John, I'll let you finish up, man.
Well, Jason, I tell you, man, it was fun to watch you. That go out like hell attitude, man, is why we love watching you, man. Good run here tonight, and judging by your car, I think you probably need to go celebrate with a Coors Light here tonight.
Absolutely. Just wanted to shout out to y'all in the booth. Y'all do a great job. Everybody at the Bootleg Racing League, Thunder Ridge, and our sponsor, Gargamel's Kitchen.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we'll see you. Talk to you next week. That's Jason Menda, the Coors Light driver of the number 45, our second place finisher tonight. Soup, who do you got?
Well, we should really maybe get Brandy in here to do this interview. We're going to talk to her husband, Jeffrey Harden. Jeffrey got third. Wow. Jeff, let's go right to the end. Menda puts it in the wall, and then all hell breaks out there on the end. There were cars everywhere. I didn't know if you were going to finish on the podium or you could have finished as far back as 18th.
Yeah, when Jason got in the wall there, I lifted just a little bit, and I think that was my chance to get by him cleanly.
Yeah, they were coming from all sides. Is that the original car that you started with, or did you take a fast repair?
No, I made it through clean. I had a couple seat-sucking moments, but other than that, I was pretty clean.
Did you ever have to try to make a pass on the inside tonight?
Yeah, I did. I kind of was pretty patient. Got real lucky on the restart and was able to pick spots up on the inside when I restart or slide in real quick. So that worked out for me.
Well, here's the good news for you. I'm sure you realize you are the points leader. And not only do you finish third, but you beat everybody that you're chasing. So your points lead was only going to increase. You got to start to be thinking championship. Little maybe Brandy might need to make a little space on the coffee table for the hardware, right?
Yeah, well, right from now on out, the plan is just to try and talk to you every Saturday night. If that happens, then I can be able to
talk to the commentators. and kind of consistently work your way in there for a trophy. Good luck to you, man, down the road.
All right, thanks, Soup.
John, not a bad strategy. Podium your way to the title.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you gobble up points, getting on the podium, talking to us. I don't think he wants a championship. I think he just likes talking to us.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that he's, it's pretty cool that we're talking about some guys that, in the past have been very, very consistent, and they're getting the shine here, and it's been refreshing to see, that's for sure.
It is fun. It does shake it up, and it does keep it very dramatic. If you do not want drama in the kitchen, you want drama in the rest of your life but you don't want drama when you're in the kitchen. And the best way to avoid that is to use the products from Gargamel's Kitchen. They are a food-grade nitrous oxide provider. They're located in the beautiful city of Denver, Colorado, and they are a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Now, you can visit their offices at 2045 South Valencia Street. They put out an amazing spread. It is known throughout the city. People come in, even if they have an electric kitchen, they still come into Gargamel's Kitchen just to enjoy their spread that they put out every day for your enjoyment. Give them a call at 720-707-6178. And you can also, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure you join us for the next round. It's going to be a week from now. Our director has put the information up on the screen. I'm not going to talk to you about it because I am confident that all of you are literate and can read what's on the screen right now. So you don't want to miss those. But you do pay attention to the one on Tuesday night. Those are really fun. All those broadcasts, this one and everything else, is all a production of the Virtual Grip Network. So as we put a lock on the gate, we're just about done with this broadcast. So I get to say, until next time, I would like you all to have fun storming the castle.